Salut survivors! Welcome back to SolutOdka channel in Manor Lords guide series. Have you ever wished for a fresh restart for your village? Are you searching for an optimized build order? Wondering how to spend the initial key 50 coins? Well, in that case, wonder no more. You have come to the right place. This video is made for you. As today's video is an in-depth build order analysis that we shall call the Great Pyramid build order. This is of course not about building an actual pyramid structure, not existing in European Middle Ages anyway, but this is about the pyramid of the stages of development of your villages. Climbing layer by layer these stages of development in the most optimal, efficient and generic manner indeed. For this Great Pyramid build order video guide, I will split it into two parts. Part 1, presentation of the 6 initial stages of development. Part 2, in-depth presentation of the build order and sharing tips along the way as usual. I hope you will find this video useful, as it is the beginning of my Manor Lords guide series. Also, please keep in mind that the game is in early access, and as such, I will revisit the Great Pyramid strategy with future game patches being released. Please comment with your thoughts and share your own build orders with everyone. I'm interested to know all about it. Now, let's go straight to the video. Part 1. Presentation of the Great Pyramid strategy. I wanted to create a generic build order which could be applied to any starting resources map conditions, even if it might need some adaptation to local climate, obviously. I wanted it to be well balanced, in the sense to initiate all layers of the game economy mechanics, and I wanted it to permit to rapidly upgrade burgage plots, generate income also through trade, as well as expand towards new regions as fast as possible. I dedicated hours for this build order study, compared and tested multiple build orders, refined and optimized, all of which resulted with the birth of the Great Pyramid build order and culminated in the creation of this video guide to share with you to inspire you with your very own city buildings. And now, let us begin to discover the Great Pyramid build order. It is subdivided into 6 phases. Phase 1, survival. The goal is to have an initial setup for your economy and the 5 families. Priorities are the construction capabilities build up, start of logistics next work, and build a home for everyone. Phase 2, belief. The goal is to build a church. Priorities are the hunting grounds for meat, complementary to bread, and ensure a good supply to the food stall to get approval buff. A saw pit for 20 planks production. Build the church to attract new families rapidly. Target is for May, ideally. And follow with the start of the firewood production. Phase 3, growth. Obviously, the goal is to prepare for growth. The priorities are to ensure a good supply to your marketplace with temporary present granary workers and storehouse workers when necessary. Ensuring to have housing available each month. Urban planning for growth, planned up to 10 families. Have 5 burgage plots to unlock the first development point, as well as to receive the 20 shields and spears to start your militia spearmen. And lastly, to prepare for a new food source with the berries. Phase 4, trade. The goal is to start your minor trade routes. Priorities will be, obviously, to build your trade posts, as well as to establish a couple of minor trade routes, ideally 3 to 4 items for exporting. Phase 5, regional wealth. The goal is to upgrade to level 2 your burgage plots, as many as possible. Your priorities will be the tannery for the leather, as needed, and upgrade your level 2 houses, at least 2 to get an extra development point, however as many as possible, and try to prioritize the houses with 2 families for more monthly tax income. Phase 6, your power. You are reaching this culminating point to enjoy the power that you have built up. And your goal will be to start cleaning bandit camps, and the target should be for around October, ideally. In order to achieve this, your priorities will be to have your militia with 20 spearmen to be safe, and this can be done with 10 families, 2 men per family. You will then clean up the bandits to earn influence and your own treasury. Also, please consider that while your 20 men are cleaning up camps, only 10 women are left for minimal works at your village during this time. Part 2. In-depth presentation of the build order. I will now go through each of the phases of the pyramid and how to climb as fast as possible these different stages of development. Phase 1. Survival. Number 1. Build a logging camp. To generate log rapidly, assign 2 lumberjacks to ensure constant supply for rapid construction projects. Remember, at the beginning, we will want to build. So build, we will. Number 2. Hitching posts and buy an ox. To invest your first 20 coins out of your 50 starting cash. This will help all citizens to carry logs from the supply point to the consumption points faster. 3. A granary. To rapidly store the initial breads before they rot outdoor. To start your marketplace with a food stall. And temporarily assign a family as a granary, then remove them once the job is done. 4. Multiple housing. There are different ways to do it, but I will propose here my most efficient generic way. 2 burgage plots which can be upgraded to have 2 families and expanded to add chicken coop. Additionally, 1 burgage plot for 2 families as well, and with a large area for vegetable garden. Try to use a smart design for this. In this current case, with these 3 burgage plots for 2 families each, you will have enough housing until your first new family is settling in your village, which is a current short-term priority. If your starting stocks of logs are depleted, consider relocating your initial hitching post beside your logging camp. Another note, at that time, you should also have your first well close to your housing area, so pay attention to this underground water overlay. Phase 2. Belief. Number 5. The hunting lodge. To produce meat for your food stall, this way having 2 food variety for your families and creating a positive approval buff to offset the homelessness debuff. To start producing hides for future laser and level 2 upgrades of the phase 5. Number 6. Storehouse. To move your goods to proper storage and start your firewood stall at the marketplace. Temporarily assign a family at the storehouse, then remove them once the job is done. Number 7. Saw pit. To rapidly produce exactly 20 planks at first for your church construction. Then, to provide 1 possible resource income for initial trading. You need to regularly micromanage for the temporary workers in various buildings. So pay attention to it. You do not want to use all of your logs into planks yet. You also do not want your hunting lodge to stop working because it is full of hides or meat, for example. Another example is to look at which families you lodge in your veggie garden, because as it is a large burgage plot, it will require the families with spare time to work. 8. The church. Build it. I would suggest placing it in a central position for easy supply of your construction resources to build your place of worship as swiftly as you can. Also, to have 3 families dedicated to construction at that key moment. If you can build this church early enough, combined with your food variety buff at your marketplace, you will offset the debuff from your homelessness early on and get your first family to join you shortly after, ideally for the month of June. 9. The woodcutter. As long as you have housing for 6 families and you have slightly positive approval, then you can now rapidly build your firewood production and temporarily assign a family there. Phase 3. The growth. Item 10. More burgage plots. There are again various ways to look at it. My recommended approach for the most efficient generic way is to build 1 burgage plot for 2 families and with a large area for a second vegetable garden. Try again to use a smart design for this. Additionally, 2 burgage plots which can be expanded to add small workshops. Note, some workshops might be used to craft items in the near future. Hence, try to keep these for 1 family only. Not expandable. Item number 11. Build the forager's hut. Remove your family from the hunting lodge and move them to the forager's hut. unless you have a rich animals deposit. Keep paying attention for temporary families at the granary and storehouse. Pair periods to both empty the source buildings and to feed the marketplace. During this third phase, you will also unlock your first development point. Utilization of this depends on your starting region deposits and could be discussed at length, maybe in another video. You will also receive your delivery of shields and spears. You can start your spearman militias and so your family start gathering their gear in their homes. Phase 4. Trade. Item 12. Trade post. You need to build it on the King's Road. If you do not know how to check this, simply use the road construction tool and use the Alt key. Hover over the existing roads to check which one is a King's Road. You then need to select a couple of produce to sell in small quantities to get initial cash. This could, for example, be planks, firewood, but it could also be wooden parts, hides, meat, stones, depending on your region high deposits. Appoint one family to the building. Pay attention, this is not a family residing at the veggie garden baggage plot, as you want a dedicated family to rapidly transport your goods to the trade post. Finally, thanks to this, invest your initial cash. You can upgrade one hitching post to a small stable and hire one more ox, for example, or you can start investing into chicken coops. Phase 5. Regional wealth. Item 13. Tannery. You need to build it adjacent to your storehouse, closer to your hunting lodge. Temporarily assign a family at the tannery, then remove them once the job is done. Item 14. Upgrade of baggage plots. Upgrade level 2 baggage plots, at least 2 first for an extra development point, then as many as you can afford. Consider prioritizing baggage plots with 2 families first for more monthly tax income. Phase 6. Power. Item 15. You can then rally your militia. Move your militia to the border of your region, regain your stamina first, then go towards the bandit camps. Ensure to fight with full stamina. I would suggest to start the battle in a defensive mode, to absorb the enemy charge, then rapidly switch to push forward stance to rapidly damage the enemy bandits. Consider that while your 20 men are cleaning up the camps, only the 10 women are left at home for minimal works at your village during this time. And here it is. We have achieved the 6 phases of this initial Great Pyramid build order. Now you can wonder, what's next? What comes next? It depends on your region, it depends on many things. You will have several options. But firstly, you can consider subscribing to my channel for more Manor Lords analysis videos. Then, you can target clay and roof tiles production in order to upgrade your church. You can target the manor in order to start taxing for influence and or treasury for rapid claim of another region. You can, and you likely should, continue to clean up bandit camps. You know how your militia, after all. You can also invest into a major trade route for a bigger income through trade. This again depends on your region high deposits. If this is not your first region, you should likely build a pack station to transfer your resources between regions. At any rate, always ensure to have room for new families every month. Also, consider reducing the export of your minor trade routes to save on these resources needed for your village growth. You can possibly invest into more chicken coop for eggs production, permitting lower consumption of your other food sources. You could plan to start your farming and barley production if fertility permits, for example. You could also develop orchards, sheep, or armor crafting as you see fit in your region's development strategy. Let me know in the comments what do you think are the best ways to keep growing your village after this optimized initial Great Pyramid build order. I hope you enjoyed this Great Pyramid build order video, not to be confused with the food pyramid. No, with the Great Pyramid of Giza, of course. I thought the analogy of building the build order with the pyramid seems very fitting, so the build order has been named as such. In any way, It is my hope, dear survivor and share leader of your own villages, that you will find good ways to apply this thought out strategy to foster the development of your medieval villages. On that note, let's toast to the like and subscribe buttons. I appreciate very much your support. Thank you for watching and see you in my next videos. Cheers.